A corner of Han's mouth slightly lifted as he imagined the creation. In his mind, Han pictured a beautiful woman around 5 feet 6 inches, slightly shorter than him. Cascading down her head would be flowing, slightly wavy brown hair, framing an alluring oval face, a voluptuous body shape, gorgeous breasts and butt, a somewhat shorter torso but legs for days. It wouldn't be surprising if someone from Earth thought she was a high-class escort. The creation started as a mass of biological material, but the more Han thought of her, he watched as each part began to form. Each part harmonized with the others. As her body formed, Han just took a moment to stare as he was captivated. "I never thought I'd be glad to watch so many videos," Han smiled appreciatively, his eyes relishing every inch of her. "Who would have thought watching adult videos and hentai would help me create a woman from nothing?" He breathed out. Her hair was suspended as if floating in space as she stayed suspended in the air. While Han was soaking in his creation's stunning body, his thoughts began moving to what it would be like to engage with her. Han couldn't help but initially think of her as ditzy, relying only on her physical attributes. Frowning, "I'll need someone I can rely on, handling matters behind the scenes." With the woman floating before him, Han imagined the intelligence necessary to handle all he had in mind for the future. But at the same time, loyalty and devotion were absolutely necessary. Learning from his prior mistakes with women, he would definitely not mess things up and get his priorities straight. He pulled up her stats on the menu to tinker with it. Realizing a solution, he chuckled. After changing some things around, he completed her profile. He had probably forgotten other things, but figured he could change it with his broken OP system. But with the creation's broken stats, it would work for the moment. Closing the system, he willed for her to awaken and watched as her eyelids lifted and showed a deep purple iris. He realized he was holding his breath, seeing how gorgeous she was. Helania slowly floated down until her bare feet gently touched the hard floor. "From now on, you will serve me and fulfill all I need you to complete. I have created you to be everything I don't have the time to care for," Han ordered. Though Helania was silent, her eyes clearly indicated that she was taking in what was said as though no other words were more important than his. "As time goes on, you will slowly develop a personality. It'll be one that will help me complete all I wish on this or any other world." Han imagined her as an intern at a company, one that would inevitably take over executive duties with ease. Helania would be the one to run the company while reporting to him. Taking in his words, Helania kneeled. "My creator, your wishes are mine only purpose, and I will complete them without fail." Seeing her submit to his will in front of him, lacking clothes, made him think of indecent activities. Han knew that he would need to have her put on some clothes. Though he wouldn't mind her remaining nude the entire time, Han figured he should give her an outfit for when they would explore the world. It didn't take long before he imagined an outfit. Han thought it would be appropriate to create something between what an executive would wear and a standard-made uniform, though on the revealing side, being the nerd he was. Han pictured the films where the secretary would seduce her boss. Then videos with maids. With the two images in his mind, he attempted to create a fusion of the two. Creating the clothing with his mind, they materialized in front of Helania. "Put them on," he ordered her. Looking at Han and then the clothes, wordlessly followed his directions. Despite some initial difficulties, Helania quickly figured out how to put on the outfit. Fully dressed, seductive wasn't enough to describe how much she exuded sexuality. The outfit perfectly outlined her figure. The fabric barely contained her ample breasts. In addition to the clear view of her chest, shortening the skirt didn't make it difficult for a person to see her luscious thighs. "You look beautiful, Helania," Han told her as he looked her up and down. Getting back onto her knee, Helania answered, "My creator, I do not deserve such praise." Walking towards her, Han lifted her chin to admire his work. He saw her cheeks reddening. "From now on, you will not refer to me as creator but master." I do not need others to know about my ability." He smiled proudly at what he had formed into being. "Yes, my master," Helania responded, gazing obediently up at him. Letting go of Helania, he turned around to look at the entire floor area. Han thought aloud, "I wonder what I should do with this place." It didn't feel productive to leave such a vast space unused. Thinking about dungeons and games, he chuckled, "Maybe I should set a maze. In here?" She got back up and moved to stand on his right side, slightly behind him. "That would be an excellent idea, my master," Helania smiled. Han raised a hand and created a drawing table and a table holding various art supplies. Looking to Helania, he ordered, "I want you to draw me an incredibly complex and difficult maze." "Yes, my master." Helania bowed her head, moving towards the table and sitting down on the attached seat. Helania immediately sketched out an intricate maze. Han watched over her shoulder, fascinated by what it would look like and curious about how it would turn out. He didn't have any experience when it came to designing. If Helania were able to design something of worth, it would demonstrate that his powers would translate to those he created being able to do things beyond his knowledge. "Make sure to identify suitable locations to place various traps," he reminded her. After several minutes, Helania got up and moved to the side of the table so he could get a better view of her results. Looking at the paper, Han saw an incredibly detailed map of an expansive labyrinth. On the bottom, he saw a variety of traps written out with corresponding symbols that matched the ones throughout the maze. There were pits with spikes, arrows that shot out of the wall, ceilings that would lower and crush, and spikes that would randomly appear on different parts of the labyrinth. Each trap felt deadlier than the last. Just seeing how complex it was, if Han didn't have his powers, it was unlikely he'd have the ability to complete it. Han imagined a quick death if such an attempt was made. Grinning at her excellent job, Han gently stroked her hair. "I'm thrilled that I created you. You're already performing better than I expected," he congratulated her. "Much better than anything I could have designed." Helania bowed, hiding a smile. At the entrance of the second level, he looked at the drawing again. Focusing on each part of the image, he made it into reality. Throughout the floor, walls burst out from the ground. Everything shook. Shadows danced as the bowls of fire swayed from the vibrations. A roaring sound echoed everywhere like a monster awakened from a deep slumber. Eventually, there was silence, and the dust settled. Compared to just a few moments ago, the absence of noise was deafening. Walking over to one of the newly constructed walls, Han lightly tapped the material to ensure it was adequately strengthened. Looking over to Helania, Han said, "Use your spatial magic and transport us to the area leading to the third level." The two of them were immediately transported to the entrance of the third floor. Seeing the exit of the labyrinth, something was missing. "Just having the structure to stop adventurers sounds nice, but I feel there should be something more than this," Han contemplated. Thinking of a labyrinth, Han remembered an ancient myth, a creature that hunted down intruders desperately hoping to escape from a winding maze of hallways. He grinned upon thinking of what to create, but with his own tastes. Just like with Helania, a mass of liquid emerged from the void. The first thing he did was to imagine a woman's body. This thought made the substance shift to match his thoughts. "Since I just created Helania, I think my mind went straight to a similar form." Han tilted his head. Though he did like how Helania looked, Han thought back to the myth. Large curved horns sprouted from the head of the figure. Blonde hair flowed out from her head and down her back. Wanting to add more of a distinction than Helania, Han increased his new creation's muscle mass. The skin of the creation was slightly more tanned compared to Helania, as though she was the type to play out in the sun. Beneath the skin, defined muscles could be seen. She didn't look like a bodybuilder, but hitting the gym could be imagined. This made him think about how she would be taller than Helania. Han's thoughts made the material grow proportionally larger, though her breasts were disproportionately larger after the change. "I guess she's close to 6 feet, Han said after considering things. Han turned the creation around. Looking at her butt, he thought it missed something. Realizing the issue, a bovine tail emerged from under the skin and above the butt. Though the creation was more fit than Helania's, Han ensured that the body didn't look overly muscular. There was still enough fat to maintain a feminine body shape. Giving her a bikini-looking outfit made from animal skins, he named her Minatoria. Han decided to give her similar stats as Helania, without magic abilities. Instead, having a high defense against magical and physical attacks. It would be fun to give Minatoria magical abilities, but he felt intruders should have a fighting chance. He smiled, thinking how intruders would react to a beast woman with such stats. Seeing her eyes open as she floated to the ground, Han announced, "I am your master. Your name is Minatoria, and you must fulfill my will." Han slowly moved a hand to indicate the entire area. "This level shall be your domain, and you will prevent intruders from leaving this floor." Minatoria went to her knee and said, "I shall complete your orders with absolute obedience and devotion, my master. I only exist to fulfill your will." The way they treated him made Han feel reassured. The one thing he didn't need to worry about was for them to betray him, different from all the other people in his life. Going over to Minatoria, he touched her shoulder and signaled her to rise. Sliding his hand down her chest, he felt one of her soft and supple assets cupped in his palm. Lightly squeezing one, he could feel the flesh between his fingers. Minatoria's breathing quickened as he groped her. "You are my beautiful Minotaur. I know that you will make me proud," he told her in a gentle voice. Removing his hand from her body, Han turned around and continued up the stairs to the third level.